What's up, bodyweight warriors? Welcome back to another video and another beginner full body flexibility routine. This one is short and sweet. If you want to check out the other ones that are available in this series, they'll be on screen or linked down below. For this one today, you're probably just going to need a yoga block to complete the routine, as well as some space and some time. That's it. Let's jump straight into this one. So we're going to start off with some neck stretching mobilization. You don't have to be sat how I am currently. You can be standing, sat on the chair, whatever feels comfortable, as long as we're free to move the upper body. We're going to perform a lower technique, so both hands out to the side. We're going to reach the hands away from us and keep the shoulders down away from the ears. You're going to look towards one hand. That hand's going to lift up, palms up. The other hand's going to lift down, palms down. Again, reaching as far away from you as you want. And as you change your breath, so if I'm inhaling up, so exhale, I'm going to switch my focus and switch hand, palm comes up, other palm comes down, and we're just going to go back and forth with the breath. So nice, slow and controlled here. We'll do about 60 seconds in total. Just reaching the hands away, keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Ideally, through the nose, out through the mouth, you can do. Should feel the stretch kind of going right from the shoulders, even into the arms, into the fingers. We'll do one more per side. Okay, so we're going to go first to a neck stretch. We're going to lean the neck just to the right-hand side here. I'm going to take the left hand, place it behind the back. Not aggressively, just literally sat behind the hips. But I want to think about keeping the shoulder down, again, away from the ears. And I'm gently going to place my hand on top and just lean the head away. So this might be enough stretch for you. You can then apply a little bit more pressure with the hand. Again, keeping the chest up, shoulders down. Feeling a stretch going over the side of the neck, potentially down into the shoulder. So about 20 seconds or so. Let the head come back to the center, swap sides, so right hand comes behind, lean the head away, feel the shoulder stay down to create that stretch, and then hand can come on top. Again, nice deep breaths. One more breath here. And then come back to the center. We're going to go forward now into a quadruped position. We're just going to get some movement going through the spine like we started off with the upper back as well. So again, with the breath, we're going to inhale and we're just going to try and look up with the head and extend through the spine. So try to make the biggest arch out of your back as you can do. We're going to exhale and then create the biggest rounding that we can of the back. As we inhale, we're going to then extend. As we exhale, we're just going to round. So one more breath here. We're going to inhale. And then we're going to round. And staying in this position, we're going to take our right hand and we're going to thread it through. So reach as far as we can. I'm going to drop that right shoulder down towards the ground. So we're going to create this nice twist going through the back into the hips. And we're just going to try and reach as far as we can over with this right hand side. Keeping the right shoulder down. Should feel a nice stretch going throughout the back into the lower back as well. Here I want you to think about breathing. We're going to try and breathe into the rib cage. Try to open it up like a barrel. Molly's feeling like she's going to join for this one. One more breath here, and then we're just going to swap sides. So we're going to come back out that quadruped position, same thing. Take the left arm, thread the left arm through, drop the shoulder down towards the ground. Keep the hips pretty neutral. And again, big breath, try to breathe into the rib cage, expanding it as much as possible. As you exhale, try to reach that hand out a little bit further. Nice deep breath. I'm going to do one more here. Beautiful. Okay, we started on the right hand side, so we're going to take a little look at stretching the pecs now. I'm going to take the right hand, I'm going to go a 45-degree angle out towards the side. Same thing, we're going to drop that shoulder down, but now, because the hand is over towards the right, we're going to feel this stretch going through the chest. So I'm just going to use my other hand to assist, and I'm just going to press down with my chest as much as feels comfortable. You can play a little bit with the angle you place the hand. So where you place it's going to change the stretch. We're just looking for a nice big stretch over the chest, over the bicep. And again, nice deep breaths. Try to breathe into the area that you're feeling the stretch. So if I'm breathing in now, I'm going to try and breathe into my chest, into the area that I'm feeling that stretch. As I exhale, I'm going to try and sink down a little bit further. Beautiful. And come back up. Right arm goes down. Left arm's going to come out now to, again, about a 45-degree angle. I'm just going to sink my chest down, using the other arm to assist, till I feel it stretch over that chest. Again, nice deep breaths into the chest, and then try to exhale, try to drop that shoulder down further. Last breath here. Perfect. Come out of this one. I'm going to shake that off. We've kind of done some work in the upper body. We're going to move some focus down now, and we're going to go into the hips. We're going to keep that sort of twisting theme going. We're going to start with the right hand side. So we want to have our left leg forward. We're going to hop the right leg over the left shin, so we're kind of in this crossed leg position, still supported. I want to try and think about arching the back, so trying to tilt the hips, create an arch, and then from here you're just going to try and sink the hips backwards as far as you can. The focus should be trying to sink this right hip back, also backwards, but slightly to your right. You're going to feel a stretch deep down into the glute of that back leg. We can sit here. We're just going to do 30 seconds in total. So it's another 15 seconds. Just keeping the breathing nice and steady. And then we're going to come back up. I'm going to do the opposite. So now I need to have right leg back. So we need right leg forward. We're going to drop that knee over the leg so we make that cross, and then from there arch the back, stick the butt out, and then we're just going to try and sink our hips back, and we're going to sink it towards the side that we're stretching. So I'm going to sink back and slightly to the right, so I'm going to feel like I'm pushing my hip out, to the left hand side. Again, looking for a decent stretch deep into the side of the hip. And we're just going to hold this one for 20 more seconds. You can move around a bit in this one, try to find how, if you're moving the hip, how it changes the stretch, and maybe find the point in which you're looking to target. Okay, we're going to come out and forward. Keeping this right leg back, we're going to lift the left leg forward. We're going to go into a lunge position. So, with the lunge, we want to stay down. We're going to keep the right hand down to the side. I'm going to let this left leg move outwards, so move out to the side, and that's going to create space for me to drop this right hip down, and again, we're going to twist, keeping our right arm locked out and solid. And I'm just going to think about feeling my right hip getting down low towards the ground. Going to feel a good stretch over my hip flexor over this right hand side, but also going up into the rib cage, into the right lower back. Maybe even a little bit into your left adductors, the inside of the thigh, the left groin. Just holding it another few seconds. Nice deep breaths. And then from here, we're going to stay in this lunge position. And we're going to kind of try to rock back into what would be a hamstring stretch. So right now, I'm in a bent leg position. My stomach is flat on this leg. I'm going to try and, using support of my hands, I'm going to push my hips back. I'm going to try and straighten my leg fully. And if I can do extra balance points, I'm going to try and pull my toes back. Now, this is a little bit too intense. Maybe you feel like as you're trying to go back, your arms are lifting off the mat and you're trying to balance. We're going to use some yoga blocks to assist. So I have yoga blocks either side that's going to lift me up a little bit, and I can think about trying to just push those hips back, keep myself as forward as I can do. So a nice stretch over the hamstring. If I'm going to lift this toe up, I'm probably going to start feeling it in the back of the knee into the calf, because that's going to bring some nerve element into it. I'll hold for a few seconds. I'm going to rock forward. I'm going to rock back and forth 5 times in total, trying to pause 3 or 4 seconds on this stretch. So don't try to skimp out on the stretch. It's up to you to determine if its intensity is right. If you feel like you can't stay that for that 3 seconds, just come out of the stretch a bit. And then each time, I'm going to try and rock back and forward. I'm going to try and go deeper into this stretch. So we've got 2 more left. Push the hips back. Again, toes up is an optional one. Definitely going to make this stretch more intense. And then on this last one, I'm just going to hold for 10 seconds in this stretch position. So staying as forward as you can do. Now, during this 10 seconds, we'll do 1 rep of PNF. So you're going to try and press this foot down into the ground in front of you. We're going to feel the hamstring contract, the area that we're stretching contract. We're going to hold it for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I want you to try and sink further forward now you've done that contraction. Just going to hold for a few more seconds. And then I'm going to come out. I'm going to bring that left leg back now. Put these yoga blocks to the side for a second. We're going to bring the right leg forward. I'm going to repeat that process again. So we're going to go down into a lunge. I'm going to let my right leg go out to the side. It's going to create space for me to feel like I can drop my left hip down onto the ground, twist into it, try to get that left hip as low as possible. Left arm stays locked. Chest is upright, head is upright. Feeling a good stretch over the hip flexor. I'm just going to hold for 30 seconds. Keep holding. Just another 10 seconds here. Nice deep breaths, trying to expand the rib cage. Again, trying to breathe into the area, feeling the stretch. And then we can come back out of it. We're going to shift into that hamstring stretch. So if you needed those yoga blocks beforehand, if you need that little bit of extra space, that clearance to lift yourself up, starting in that lunge position, feeling the leg on our chest. We're going to push the hips backwards, rock the hips back until we feel a stretch over that hamstring. Don't wiggle out of it, hold it for a few seconds. And then shift nice and forward into a lunge. Shift back, toes back for the bonus points. Hold for a few. Shift forward. If the toes back make it too intense, there's no need to do it. We're just trying to get the right intensity of stretch so that you feel a bit more comfortable. On each rep, you're able to push that bit further forward and get into more of a hamstring stretch. So 2 more. Push the hips back, try to lean the torso further forward. And then we're going to do the last one. We're going to hold for that little bit extra. We're going to perform a rapid PNF. So we're going to go forward. We're going to think now about trying to drive this foot. We're going to press the heel down into the ground. We're going to feel the hamstring contracting. Walking the dog is optional during your stretching. And we're going to relax deeper. Perfect. Finally, put those yoga blocks towards the side. From here we can move to the last couple of positions, and we're going to open the legs out. We're going to move into a frog position. So hands supported, we're just going to try and get those knees as wide as you can. Ideally, we want to have the feet at 90 degrees, so it gets a little bit easier if you place the feet together behind you. So feet out, then come down onto our forearms. And then we're just going to rock backwards as far as we can do. Feel the stretch get a little bit more intense. Hold for a few seconds, and then we can rock forward. As we rock back that second time, we're going to try and feel like we can move those knees out a little bit and get a bit further into the stretch. We're going to do 5 rocks in total. So as you come forward, feel like you can squeeze the knees out a little bit, rock backwards into the stretch. Come on forward. Got 2 more here. You try to push the hips back into this one. Three. Try to wiggle those knees out for this one last one. So the 5th rep. Again, we're going to do a little PNF. So I'm going to try and think about squeezing my knees down into the ground. So I'm going to press them in. I'm going to try and squeeze them together. I'm going to feel the adductors, the inside of the thigh. It's going to be contracting where I'm feeling that stretch. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to try and relax and feel like my hips can sink down lower to the ground. I'm going to hold this just for another 5 seconds here. All right, mate. We're going to come out of the stretch. I'm going to finish up something a little bit more relaxing. You're going to come to a seated position, into a tailor's pose. We're then going to just lie down backwards. Arms can go out to the side. Let gravity just pull yourself down towards the ground. And just focus on your breath. So think about breathing in through the nose. Try to breathe down into the base of the stomach. And then an exhale. Think about taking 4 or 5 breaths in, pausing briefly. 4 or 5 seconds in, pausing briefly, and then taking 6 to 8 seconds. So a little bit longer on that exhale. Stay in this position. Keep the breathing constant. We can now move the legs slightly. So we're going to go from this diamond position, bring the feet up so the knees are upright, and I'm going to let the feet go out to the side slightly. And then again, we're letting gravity do its thing, pulling us down towards the ground. But instead of the legs going out, I'm going to let the knees go inwards now. Place the hands on the thighs if you want to. You can give yourself a little bit of encouragement so I can feel like I'm pushing my thighs away. Again, keep that breathing the same. And hold just for one more breath here. And then the final position we're going to do, last one, we're just going to take those knees together. I'm going to hug them up to our chest. Arms around. Again, try to relax down. Press them nice and tight. I'm just going to hold here and breathe. 2 more nice deep breaths. 4 or 5 seconds in. Pause for a few seconds. 6 or 8 seconds out. Perfect. And that is basically a nice short, quick, sweet beginner's routine. If you enjoyed this one, you can hit that thumbs up button. Right down below is also that subscribe button if you don't miss out on any more future videos. As I mentioned, the entire series is also available in the description down below if you want to try out some other routines and see what works for you. Other than that, I'll catch you next one. Have a strong week. Peace.